Hey everyone, welcome to Kadin. I am live today with a parallel with Rima, and we will be bringing her on in just a moment. I just wanted to wish everyone a happy Labor Day and welcoming you to my page. I will see everything when it connects here in just a moment. It's always fun in the beginning when everybody gets, hello, how are you? Thank you for joining. Fertile Me. Thank you for watching. This is going to be a great segment. Please stay on and hang out with us this Labor Day. I am so excited to have Rima on here. I wonder if I ever go cross-eyed when I'm looking down. All right, just waiting for everyone to hop on and getting Miss Rima on here. Welcome, welcome everyone. There we go. All right, let's get Miss Rima. Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
How are
How are
you?
you?
I'm doing
I'm doing
well.
great. How are you?
I'm awesome. I love that top. It's so cute.
Oh, thank you. Oh, it's one of our new items.
It feels a little flowy.
It's super flowy and airy, especially in this heat wave that we're having. It's been horrible. So
We're the opposite. We're cooler weather today, so we're about 53 degrees.
oh, wow.
Yeah,
We're in
gotta
the
love
70s.
Toronto. One day it's like
Nice.
95, and then it goes down to like 53 in 1 second. I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, it's crazy. So, how is everything going with you?
Everything's going great. Alhamdulillah. Things are going really well.
That's good.
Other
Well, I'm
than
glad
school starting this week.
everybody's like online school. I can't do it right now. Like, I need my Zen time. I need my time to breathe.
It's so intense. Like, it's only been a week so far, but I think we were so relaxed during the summertime. Like, we had such a nice break. Like, we didn't have anything to do, and like it was like instant and back-to-back classes. And my kid doesn't like sitting down for long periods of time, so I have to be near him.
How old is he?
He just turned 10.
Okay, so he's a 10-year-old at home all day. He probably doesn't want to be sitting.
Oh yeah.
I was at home with my kids.
I'm gonna disconnect off of my.
Say that again.
Okay. Okay, I think that's better. It was a little choppy before.
Okay. So I was saying I was in Arizona with my sister. You know Thuraya, you met her, and her and my other sister and my sister-in-law all have 6-year-olds. So it's just like a very emotional child time with taking them onto online school. They're like, ah! I'm like, please don't cry. Aww. It's only 15 minutes.
No, my kid is 8:45 to 1 o'clock. And I think they have like a 45-minute break. So it's pretty intense, and it's every single day. So
right.
I mean, if you're at home, it works, but if you also have a job, it's somewhat impossible. So
it is really, really hard. I wanted to get you on here so you could tell us a little bit about your family life and work balance and how that goes. And I know we're already into it, so just tell me a little bit about how that works day in, day out. I mean, you're doing the online school, you're doing a parallel. How is that going for you?
I mean, I can't complain. Alhamdulillah, it's going. I feel like I tried to attain that balance for so long, and I ended up giving up on that. Like, I really don't think there is like a true balance when you're trying to juggle so many things at once. Something's always going to have to give. And more recently, like, I've been trying to focus on time management and really taking an inventory of like what things are taking the most of my time. Scrolling on Instagram for a half an hour, not realizing that half an hour went by, is like a good use of your time, And So just kind of like really being a little bit more strict on like my time management skills, and having family time, having work time, having being more like structured with your day. I feel like it is what's helped me the most.
Right.
I feel like as working women, we all have that like mommy guilt because we're taking away from our children's time. It's
Right.
like you start to feel guilty about it, and that's not where we should feel guilty. We're trying to better our families by working. It's all the other things that take our time is where we start feeling guilty.
Right. I always see my sister tell me, she comes up to me and she goes, I feel like he should, he's getting all the attention in the world, all the love in the world. He's getting everything he needs. But anytime I start a new project, I feel like, being an hour away in a room, like sewing or creating or just going on live, I feel like I didn't give him enough attention. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But, again, I'm, the khalas, the aunties, they're like, what are you talking about? You spoiled the crap out of them.
Oh,
yeah. They get all the love in the world. So I really understand with the mom guilt. And, it's so funny because my sister is a single mom, and people have this stipulation, with single moms, as you are one too, that cannot succeed in business. So what is the message you want to give for moms who don't have spouses and want to establish a business?
I think it's actually funny that people do think that, single moms don't have as much support to, be successful. But I feel like when you're a single mom and you have to depend on yourself and create a lively and give what you had, isn't, that's the whole point of, trying to better your life. That's why you got divorced, right?
Right.
You have more motivation, like you have more incentive there to be successful. Like there's more of like the goal is bigger, as opposed to like having
Absolutely.
care of you. Like I feel like my, the internal motivation is not strong if the need wasn't there, like
right.
that, that need to create a better life for my kid, that's like all the motivation I need. And I think it should be more of an incentive for women to like push to be successful.
Abdia is on here and she's asking a quick question. She said, what did you do to celebrate your first sale?
Well, I actually, because I started it as a hobby when I was making my first sales, like it really didn't mean that much to me. Because it was like just more of a hobby. But I feel like nowadays, like every time I'll go into my sale, like we have these weekly sales, and I'll be telling Noah, I'm like, we're gonna have a good sale today. Mama wants to get a pedicure. So.
Right. Mama needs a pedicure. Well, I think our first sale, my sister's like, everybody ice cream. I'm like, that's for him, not for you. Like, why are we celebrating with ice cream right now? Do you feel yourself doing that all the time? Like when something good happens, you're usually, going back and going, hey, you want to go to the jump park? like to that, that's exciting. Yes. I think that's so fun.
Definitely. When we have a good...
Say that again?
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying it's so crazy how when you see moms, they're just usually like, okay, let's go to the jump park, or let's go to, the ice cream parlor. Let's go to somewhere where, your friends are, and you're just like, why in this situation? It's mama time, Abdia said you deserve all the pedicures.
I know, my answer is so much.
Right? So tell us how you started your business and a little bit about how you went from your first business to a parallel, because I know some people who are new to your page don't know that there was an existing brand before a parallel. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I started wearing hijab like a lot later in life. I was in college when I started wearing hijab. So I didn't grow up with, a lot of people who've been wearing it for a long time are like, they're used to it. It's comfortable to them. It took me a long time to get comfortable, not the way I look, but just in the actual hijab, like having something around my neck or having something around my head. Um, so I started making hijabs for myself, and this was when I was married. Now I was actually 2.5 years old. And it just kind of turned into a business. Like we were one of the first companies, like at the time, nobody was making jersey hijabs. And
Right.
it was like a thing.
Right.
And
That
from there, like
less
people started
material.
buying. Yeah, less material. It was thinner. You didn't need any pins, and it was great. And then from there, I started making some clothing, and it was a hit. And it wasn't just Muslims that wanted the clothing. It was like anybody who wanted comfortable clothing. So,
Right.
we kind of went along with this for quite a few years, and there was always this kind of internal struggle where I felt like I was pushing this modest wear brand, and there was like something
Right.
that just didn't align with me. Like I felt like it wasn't truly modest. Like I kind of would open myself
Right.
to criticism from the community, and like I felt vulnerable, so I would hold back and not put myself out there and not put my business out there because it was a modest wear company at the time. And it took me a long time to realize that my company is not about modesty. Like it's more about comfort, and
Right.
it caters to more than just Muslim women. It caters to anybody who wants, to wear comfortable, casual, stylish clothing, and still like have that modesty, still like be more covered. So the rebrand has been in the making for quite a few years, and it just never happened.
Awesome.
Felt like Live Wad was just so intertwined with my identity that it in a way held me back. Like Live Wad was me, and I felt like anything. So the changes were, it was so weird, like you would think
Right.
like it's just a business name, but it wasn't for me. So when we finally rebranded, it has been amazing actually. Like I've
I was
been able
like,
to like separate myself from the business, and yeah.
I remember when we first met at PFH, and you were telling my brother used to make fun of your last business name, and you were like, it's French. I still can't say it till this day. Was it Lavelle? Did I say that right?
I didn't hear what you said. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Yes.
I remember being at Lavoie, and I remember us being at FH, and you were telling us how your brother made fun of you because of the name of your first business, and I always thought that was funny because brothers are so critical about your sister's businesses. They're like,
so much.
when we
till
open our
today,
stores, like
today.
Faye's mama. Was he making fun of it again?
Like even if I go onto my live sales, like he'll always go onto my live sales and call me afterward and be like, "You're not prepared. You're not this." It's like you're like my hardest critic. Like just chill. So.
But they're your biggest fans, right? The hardest critic is always the biggest fan secretly.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah.
When you started a Parallel, what did you expect for the change in the rebrand of your company? A lot of people rebrand their company or are thinking about rebranding their company, changing the name. What are some pros and cons to that? Because I know there's a few ladies on here that are thinking of different branding names, that we've discussed previously. So what is that something you would give a pro and a con to?
So I think you just have to, first for me, like you have to see like what the meaning is, like what the brand means to you, like if for me, Devois did not mean that much, just a name, and it actually meant hijab, and I was like selling everything. So it's like, it was inconsistent,
Right.
You have to see how many followers you have, how many people, how many customers are going to know about this rebrand, and like are consistently coming to you that would know that you changed your name, and how many customers you're actually going to lose, and kind of like evaluate, like, is it worth it, is it not worth it? For me, like there was so much to it then. It was about me kind of taking it to the next level. So like to me it was worth it. We've actually like gained so many more customers since the rebrand, and yeah, it's been great.
I feel like people are afraid they're going to lose their identity because of the name they started with, but they don't realize when they make the change and they do what they love, the rebrand is actually something better for them, because I feel like the name really attaches to the person. I know when we started a store, we did, Kadin Co, but then when we opened our store, we made it Baby Mama, because we had so many women who were in Gilbert, Arizona, that were white women who were not Muslim, and coming to our store, and we were like, they're not going to know what a Kadin is. Like, I know we're going to have to explain it to them. So we were doing mommy and me clothing at the time and breastfeeding tops. So we were like, okay, let's call it Baby and Mama. And then everybody was like, I love this store. This is great. You know, mommy and me type of clothing. So I really understand rebrand. We really had to take a step back from doing it as just, you know, us and Modest Wear. And I told my sister, I was like, this is not just for Modest Wear. This is for everybody. And that's, you know, kind of where we stepped out of our shell, started getting women online, and started talking with you guys. So I totally understand that 100%. I'm sorry.
Same thing. Yeah, same thing. Like, we had to, and not that the market wasn't open for like non-Muslim women, but it was like kind of rebrand just. Sorry, is it like getting
No, I understand 100%. Sorry, I was trying to get focused back. But I think with you know, anyone who's trying to change their business, they have to really focus on, you know, what aspects they have in business. And, you know, with that, I saw a few new things that I have before, and I'm really impressed. Tell us a little bit about this hoodie hijab. I've seen it on Abdiya. I've seen it on other women. So tell us a little bit about it.
So the hoodie hijab, we had, as I said earlier, we were making clothing, and we have like one of our best selling clothing items is the hoodie cardigan. And it's this like really cool cardigan that kind of like, it like hugs you from the back, and there was a hood to it. And I just love the hood so much, but like not everything has a hood on it. So I was like, I need to make a hijab that's just a hood. And that's kind of like how that idea was born. And that's the only thing I wear now. It's actually right here. I was going to show it to you.
Yes, show us it.
So it is just like a hood. It sits on your head just like a hood.
Right.
And it has these like pieces over here. And you could do so much with it. You could wear it like a hoodie. You can wrap it around like a turban. And I'm sure you saw Abdia's video. She wore it so beautifully. And yeah, like it's
worked it.
Amazing. It's such an amazing piece. Like, it's been such a great, like, everything that I make have been items that I use on a daily that I wouldn't wear or don't wear consistently. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how all of the ideas kind of come to life. It's like, I need this one thing, so I make it, and people like it. So
it's such a great quality product, and it's also, is it the jersey as well as jersey? Is it jersey quality?
It is a jersey fabric. Yes, it's a high-end jersey fabric.
Yeah, it looks so comfortable, and then when it's on, you know what? It's one of those things you can dress down, dress up. I love that type of stuff. It really does change the way, you know, you wear your outfits in, you know, everyday life. It is so hard to find an outfit that one hijab can be multiple things. Is such a great thing. With the hoodie hijab, you know, is it on currently right now? Are they sold out? How is it going with sales?
So we actually do have plenty of stock, but because we've been doing our live sales, we've kind of pulled all of our inventory off of the website, but we plan to re-add them to the website within the next week or so. But we're taking orders. If people are asking us for orders, you can also join us on our live sales. Otherwise, like within our new items on the website.
Tell the ladies a little bit about what a live sale is. I'm sure they're curious.
So the live sales that we do are very, the best way to describe it is like QVC style sales, where we show all the items and people kind of like auction them off, and the first person to basically bid on it will get the item. It's really fun. We have 2 different platforms that we use, and it's been going really well, alhamdulillah.
I don't know why I never went on one of these live sales, but I'm gonna have to go on it so I can start bidding on hijabs. Like,
our sales are on Thursdays at 5:15, and if you follow us, you'll where to go. That like usually they're at like discounted prices, or we have like, for example, this is a one-of-a-kind. We have a lot of one-of-a-kind items that we will put on our live sales or specials.
What is that? What kind of top is that? Like, what is the name of it?
This one is called the Fairy Duster, and it's a very long with sleeves.
Ooh.
And it's, I don't know if you guys could see it, but it's like a long duster. And we have these in short, we have these in like a shorter version, a longer version, and yeah, so, and they've been a hit. They've been like such a hit.
That's probably what, like, you know, coming out of the summer into the fall, that's kind of like what I love to do, is just throw on, you know, something light, airy, you know. It's still about 75 to 65 degrees outside, so I can see where women are like, ooh, I need that. And you can dress it up as well, or dress it down, just depending on the mood you have that day. And that's what I love about your clothes. They're so versatile. They're, you know, you're not going and you're buying something and you're like, I can't only use it on one occasion. Anything you buy from Apparel is going to be versatile, and I feel like that's kind of what you were gearing towards.
I definitely was. Everything we tried to get more by purpose.
Tell us a little bit about the, you know, the future that Apparel holds, and you know what that means with juggling mom life and work life.
So as of now, the parallel is to get all of these new items that we've been putting on our live sales for everybody to buy on the website. So we are doing a remodel for the website. We are, once COVID is over, we had a few opportunities that we were going to wholesale in some boutiques here in San Diego.
Right.
We've wholesaled before, and we could pause on that, and now we're like going back into wholesale. And you know, we're just planning to make like sets. We have like dolman and pant sets coming out. We have more hoodie colors coming out, more hoodie cardigans coming out. We have so many things coming out this fall.
So will you be in this fall in the FB boutiques in San Diego as well?
Well, given COVID, that's just been our problem.
I understand. How is that with running the business, COVID, and having your kid and getting everything all set and done?
It's been hard, but it's been good. Like, you know, at the beginning of COVID, we took a really big hit with sales and moved up the market, you know, to other things like selling the scarf as a mask, wrapping it up and kind of using it as a mask. Like, it was amazing. Like the amount of feedback and customers that we gained from that was like amazing. And now they buy everything, you know, like we have like non-Muslims who are buying, and it's like, what are you, like, I don't even know what they're using it for, you know? They're like, we just love it. And I'm like, okay. So
I love how, you know, during COVID, a lot of the businesses, you know, went into, you know, flight or fight mode. And a lot of the women businesses are so impressive. They went into fight mode. You know, everybody rebranded themselves. They went online. They kept pushing. They were doing these lives, you know, to promote brands. And I think that's where the main focus is, you know, with running a business and running a family life is, you know, where's the medium in all of it. And you know, I love how, you know, you find the time to do online school, do a parallel, find the places where it's going to carry you. How does your son feel about your new business?
He's, you know, it's so cute. Like he's really emotionally intelligent, so he'll make proud of you, mama. And I like it, to me. Like, it's, when I hear that, like, it's so worth it. Like, it's like the whole world could have said that to me. It wouldn't mean the same, you know? But just the mere fact that he notices the hard work, and, you know, he'll be like, you know, your customers love you, because he'll see like notes I get from my customers. He's like, they really love you. And I'm like, oh my God, like that's so intuitive for him to like notice that. So
yeah, it really does. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's a big help. Like, he's helpful. He was in my sale last week helping me with everything. So you know, he's a blessing. You know, I wouldn't even be doing this if it wasn't for him. Like I would probably have some 9 to 5 job and be completely content.
Right. And it really is a drive and motivation. You know, once you have, it's something, you know, natural for a mom to say, you know, it's time for me to do something. And I'm not going to, you know, go to a job where I never see my child. I'm doing this so I have time with my child. I think that's very important. And a lot of people miss out on. What is something you could give the mamas out there who are trying to start a new business? What do you want to tell them? Because I know, as you know, an aunt, I can't relate to that, but I now with having moms on here, you guys relate to that a lot more. So what, you know, I would always love to have those moms know that kind of advice. So if you could give us a little bit of it.
I think if you have a business idea, or if there's something you want to go back to school, if you want to do something, just do it. Just start. You know, like it's that fear to start is like the biggest holdback or setback, you know. And just starting, just, I know it's like sounds really simple, but just kind of putting yourself out there. I didn't have any experience in design or fashion or manufacturing or running a website or anything, you know. And it's like, I feel like when you're pushed up against the wall, you rise to a potential you did not realize you had. And I feel like we all have this like hidden potential, you know, and just kind of put yourself to do this. And I don't have any other option, you know. Really, people do rise to the occasion. So
I feel like family support is so important. And when you were, I know we talked a little bit about your brother. I'm sure he'll be happy that he was shouted out. But with you, you know, with you changing the business and, you know, going to conventions, going to boutiques, how do you feel with your family support, whether it's from your parents or, you know, people who are close to you? How do you feel like that was, you know, the stipulation of being a single mom and having the business start? How do you feel like you had that support from the family?
So unfortunately, none of my family lives here. Like nobody, not my brother, not my mom, dad, anything. And but you know how it is. You know, like getting married,
It's
moving
tough.
out of
It's
the
tough.
state.
I'm
you
in
know?
Toronto. I have no family right now.
It's very. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we share custody, so like I'm in San Diego, and it's really hard. Like I kind of wish I had like my mom here where I could drop him off and I wouldn't feel guilty, you know, if my kid was with my mom, you know, as opposed to like a friend's house or whatnot. But at the same time, like I was very fortunate. Like it would be wrong of me to not say this, but my ex-husband is extremely helpful. He is a great dad, you know, like if it wasn't for him being so, like I wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things that I do, and him being so flexible and having his family there to help. So I do, like, I'm very grateful for that, you know?
You know, people think because you get divorced or have a child of divorce that you can't coexist with the other parent. And I think it's so wonderful, like you and my sister, who do coexist with their spouses. And a lot of people don't realize you can have still a relationship with someone you've left, you know, especially if they're the father of your child. You know, you can have a healthy relationship, because that healthy relationship is actually good in the parts of, you know, having a business and having a healthy relationship with your child's father. You know, there's nothing wrong with putting those two together, because it only benefits the child and you. So I 100% agree.
100%. Yeah, I feel like especially in our culture, they have this idea that if you're divorced, then you guys be like two terrible people, like a horrible person.
Hide the child from the dad.
Yeah. And that's not always the case, you know? It's not the case. They're like, well, if he's such a great person, why are you not still married to him? You know, and it's like, it's interesting, you know? It's like, it just means that I didn't make that horrible decision. Like I was not like misjudging his character when I married him. Like he was a good person. And unfortunately, like there's something that they don't, which is like compatibility. We miss out on that as in our culture, at least for me, you know, like I feel like I missed out on that, you know, like what is compatibility? Like you don't realize what it is until you're there, and it's like you either made the right decision or you didn't. So
yeah, I agree 100%. I feel like in our culture and or, you know, families, hello, cover me cutie, says hi. She always has good questions. So
No.
anyone who has a question, just let us know. The topic is about, running a business, rebranding, and being a single mom and finding yourself with business. So that is what we've been talking about. If you have missed out on the last 30 minutes of our conversation, I understand everyone's Labor Day and just coming on. We're here with a parallel, Miss Rima, and she's been talking about her family life and how she is rebranding and running her business. So it's been really exciting. And, we were in the conversation of stereotypes and, being divorced and running a business is not a crutch, So I don't see why,
Definitely not.
You can't coexist with your ex-spouse, especially if you have a child with that person. Honestly, with seeing my own sister, she has a great relationship with the father of her child because he was a baby. He was 2 years old and now he's 6, and it's so important to have that relationship with dad and mom and make sure that they coexist. It's almost like nothing's ever happened between them because she hasn't put him in that situation where it's bad.
And that's the most respect, doing it for the other person. At the end of the day, you're doing it for your child, and the way you portray like the parent of your child is a reflection of you to your child. They
Right.
see that, and situation where they feel like they have to pick who is better, and that's really not fair. So.
Right. It's absolutely not fair for the child because they don't know what's going on. Woo! Sorry, my light just decided to pop back on for me. But yeah, it's not fair for the child to be in that situation. I honestly, I've never seen, any parents nowadays. It's 2020. I know it's not been the best year for everybody, but the positive takeout from this is you're learning. You're seeing your children more, and I think even though some people want, my sister sometimes like, I want to pull my hair out. All I see is my kid 24/7. At the same time, it's just like she also goes, you know what? I would have never got to know my kid more, and got to do things that I didn't have time for before. I had to make time with COVID. So is that something that you went through as well?
Yeah, I feel like it's been in some ways. There was this funny meme that was like, 2020 has been bad, but for some people it's like it hasn't been. Like that's like true for me. There have been so many positive things that have came out of this. Like I've been able to be with him. You know what I mean? And like he was struggling right before COVID. He was struggling at school with some behavioral issues, and honestly, like it came at a perfect time where like he was able to take a break from that. Like I was able to take a break from like all of that, and now he's just kind of like we're just focusing on him learning. Like it's like he got student of the month like the last month of school, and he's never got that. And it's like once you take that
that's
behavior
awesome
out, it's like there a lot of kids get lost in the academics because of being hyperactive and whatnot. So it's been a blessing.
It's so funny you say that because 2 of my nephews, they have behavioral issues at school, and once it went online, without the distraction of other children around, or having the pressure of being the best in your class, they're both actually like, oh, I was star student, I made this. It's such a difference. It kind of makes you think, oh my God, was my kid going to be successful in a classroom setting when there's one teacher with 30 students, not focusing? With your child being at home, you're sitting literally next to them, just kind of forcefully at sometimes, because you're just like, I don't want to miss if the teacher calls me and says, hey parents, usually that's how the online classes are. It's, hey parents, I just want to give you an announcement. So it kind of forces you to know what's going on in your child's school life, whether it's only 3 hours or a full school day. You're like, oh my God, is this what I've been missing out on? It's kind of like, is this what it's going to be from now going forward? How some parents might change the way they do schooling because of this, because some kids are actually getting the attention from mom and dad.
The sad part is like when you said the kids were like, I'm actually a good student. Like, it's so sad that people like in school, public, private, whatever they're in, like they get labeled as a bad child, and I've had the same experience where my son just like kind of like has that in the back of his head, and it's like, it's really unfortunate the way the school system is these days, like it's children have to fit in this box, and if you don't fit in this box, in this classroom and whatnot, then you're automatically labeled into like a bad child, and you're not smart enough, and if you're taking the kid, every time he like misbehaves, of course he's going to miss out on a lot of stuff and then fall back academically. I
agree 100%. I remember I'm like traumatized, right? But in the 5th grade, it's like you used to get like write checks, to learn to write checks. And they were like, if you did good in a spelling test or you did something, you get like money from these checks or whatnot. And I was just like, I never had enough money to go watch the movies or get the popcorn or get this. And I always told my mom, I was like, am I dumb? Like, and she'd be like, no, this is a stupid school system. Like, honestly, like some children some children don't get the attention that they deserve. Some children are also like borderline Asperger's, and it's not even noticeable, that you wouldn't even know, and then the school doesn't have the resources to let them know, because some kids repeat, or they're dyslexic, or they have something going on with them. You would never know, because the school isn't doing their due diligence, to help that child. Not saying that schools are bad and, not going to schools, because teachers just don't have the resources that they did, way back in the day. I felt like there were a lot more resources for, public school, because they were being well funded. And I felt like our teachers actually smiled. Now you see teachers and they're like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Yes, I know. I say that all the time. I'm like, I see a lot of teachers who were not meant to be. You know what I mean? And it's like, you could see the difference in like the teachers we had as younger kids, and like the teachers, some of the teachers, not everybody, obviously, like there are amazing teachers out there. I totally understand what you're saying. And for me, like something that I wanted to add is my job as a parent, like my ultimate goal for my son is not for him to be the smartest kid in the class, not to be the smartest kid in the world. My goal is for him to be like emotionally intelligent, to be able to be like an empathetic child, to have, to be good, to the people around him. Like, I feel like that's where I'm focusing my efforts, and that's where I feel like I'm reaping the benefits. Like, I see it in every day. I see it in him, and it's like for them, for people to like assume that academic means like a good kid. We don't have that in our household,
Right. I think that's so important, that you're setting the bar for, the family standard and supporting your son. It really brings you back to why you do your business and why, you are who you are. I think that's the motivation drive for a parallel. When, you talk about your son, I can see that motivation and inspiration. Have you made pieces or like when you're making your pieces, you think about your child and you start making and being inspired by those pieces?
About what? It cut out.
Are you inspired by the pieces that you make while you're taking care of your child, while everything's going on? Does he inspire some of the pieces that you make?
Well, it's funny. He would always like come and like give me ideas. He was when I was doing the regular slip-on hijab, and I would wear this one kind of like my earrings. Cute ideas.
Super cute.
You make a hijab with a hole in it so you can put your earrings. Like, it's so cute that he puts his input. You know what I mean? Like, we may not use all of his ideas, but he definitely does feel like he is a part of it, and feels like he could like, share his ideas.
I love mom creators because they involve their children in so much of the stuff they do, because usually you get your branding from somebody who's a lot older, or you paid somebody, or their experience. But, having the child, children are very brutally honest. They will not lie if you look bad or look good. They'll tell you if you look great. They will not lie. There's no filter.
No. And it's a good thing. It definitely is a good thing. Like they're gonna lose that one day, and it's it's like a breath of fresh air because these days you don't know. Everybody's like kind of like not fake, but holds
But
back.
they're not true. They're not honest in the way that you want them to be honest. And that's why I like the opinion of children, because they're just like, they'll look up at you and they're like, don't wear that. And I'm like, what? You're 6. How do you know? And they're like, it just doesn't look right. And they're like on the phone watching me on Instagram. I'm like, wow, I'm getting criticized by a 6-year-old. And then once I'm done, exactly, the honest truth. Adaya is like literally like honest truth is really, really important. And I think it's true is children do give us that feedback that we don't want to hear, but we know it's true,
That's
but
so true.
and after they give you the honest feedback, they're like, come hang out with me.
Right? Yeah. There's no malicious intent there at all. It's just everything is like very matter of fact, and that's good. I remember waking up to him one time, and he was like in my face, and he's like counting, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm barely opening my eyes, and he's like, oh, I'm what? I was just covering my face. So kids are.
It's so funny you said that. When I was sleeping at my mom's house, my nieces and nephews did not leave. They slept every single night at my mom's house. And they were, first their auntie was from out of town, and then they were at grandma's house. So, they were getting the good food, the wada, the pancakes, all of that stuff. So I would wake up in the morning and they'd be like, you have pimples on your eyes and you have hair on your whiskers. And I'm like, can I get an appointment at the wax lady right now? Apparently I look like a man. Why do you have hair on your face?
I know, they are brutally honest. Like, if you want to know how you look, you have to ask a child. Yeah,
exactly. It's like, do I look good today? No. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go change. My mom's like, we gotta go.
But the opposite is true. When they compliment you, it's true as well. So
right. So sometimes when you're sitting with kids and you're getting, even like one time I was putting on like eyeliner, my niece was like, that's too dark, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, if that's too dark for you. So she's just so like, it's funny that kids are so honest when it comes to like getting ready or living life, or if you say something, I'm not allowed to say certain words in the house when I'm around them. Like they're like, oh, like you can't say that word. If I can't say it, you can't say it. I think that's such a great experience. It's like, you teach them not to say a word, and once you say it, you get policed. Like, it's not saying those words.
So true. That's so true.
We're coming down into the last few minutes here of our live, and I just wanted you to kind of break down. I know some people are new coming back into here, so I just wanted to have you have the chance to tell a little bit about a parallel, and then kind of what's going to go down in the next few months, or just today, like it's Labor Day, so just let us know what's going on.
So today I'm actually at the office right now. I'm shipping out orders, and this week we have a few new items coming on to the live sales. Unfortunately, not everybody gets to see these new items because get to the future is to have everything that goes to live sales, to have them on the websites. Our sale this week is going to be at 5:15 on Thursday. 5:15 Pacific Standard Time, on an app called Lash.live. And
what's that app called? I want to pin it.
Lash.live.
Lash.live.
Lash like eyelash.
Yeah.
Yes. And we're gonna have some new items there, new prints, and we're going, right now we're just kind of, trucking along, trying to get new items, push new products, we're coming out with new products almost every week now. So if you're missing
oh my God, it's so exciting.
Yes. And you know how it is to manufacture here in the States. Like, you guys manufacture here as well, right?
Is everything made in the USA?
It's really hard. Everything is made in the USA. We source our fabric, our patterns, our manufacturing, everything is done in the US.
That is so awesome. I think it's so great to know where the product is coming from. If you see my previous lives, I say I am 100% against stuff made with child labor. You know, I'm not going to sell a breastfeeding top and it's made of child labor. It really scares me to know where the stuff is coming from. That's why I love buying from small businesses just like yourself and other, you know, businesses that make their own product. It's always fun when I go on Etsy because, you know, that's where I could see a lot of the stuff. And then on Instagram, you know, you get to know your friends and market with people that you've networked with in the past. You know, when you started to make your things in the USA and you said, okay, I'm going to make my brand, you know, production here. What was the reasoning behind it?
For me, because, well, there was two reasons. I am very much against like child labor. It's not even just child labor, it's unethical manufacturing conditions. You know what I mean? They could be an adult, but the way that they work them is not something that I would feel comfortable making money off of. You know, like they have people on the machines for hours and hours on standing machines. They can't even sit down because productive. And manufacturing overseas, you don't have the control to see what's actually going on. You can go and visit and, you know, see this one place, but they could very well be making it in a completely different place, you know? So that was one. Another thing is my brand is like all about quality, you know? Like I do not make made products. We don't, like, the fabric is high quality, the sewing is high quality, the designs are unique. And for me, having that control to make sure that the quality is good is like a huge factor in like the success of the business. You know, like we only sell like the best quality items. Like we don't play around with quality, basically.
Oh, I've been around your jersey hijabs. I know, girl. Like, I love you know, the first time I actually, and I'm
our fabrics. Like there are no companies.
I'm being super honest. When I was feeling your hijabs, it is a different jersey hijab, ladies. I can't explain, but the comfort of it and the softness of it, you know, I stole my sister's and she's like, nope, that's, you know, my hijab from a parallel. Don't touch it. It's mine. Like kind of thing. Like to the point where that's how comfortable these hijabs are. Like you guys don't understand. You could buy a jersey hijab from Alibaba or you could buy one from another brand, but your brand, you know, the quality of that jersey hijab, it is phenomenal. It's actually amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. We actually even pre-wash our fabrics. Washes their fabric. Sensitiveness we put into the product that we don't even want it to shrink on people, and we do really try to get the best quality fabrics, and they're not even that much more expensive than the normal jersey scarves that you get from other brands, you know?
Right. I love pre-washed anything. That's what we do with all our breastfeeding tops are pre-washed. That way they don't shrink. They're true to size. You know, somebody will tell me I'm a 52-inch breast and I'm afraid I won't fit your top, and I'm like, no, you're an X large. You know, we're true to size.
Cutting out a little bit.
Can you hear me? Oh, sorry. I know we have a thunderstorm right now, so I apologize. I'm like, out of all days, we've had lightning and thunderstorms, so our internet is in and out right now.
Don't worry about it.
But yeah, it's so
important. I actually love your breastfeeding. I love your breastfeeding shirts as well. Every time I see somebody that's pregnant, I like recommend them to them. I think it's like the smartest idea. I wish I had them when I was pregnant.
Right? I told my sister when I get pregnant, I'm gonna be wearing all of them. I have my own inventory saved of every single color because I know I'm gonna be wearing them all the time. I'm not gonna lie, I worn them before without being pregnant. For modeling.
I bought pregnancy the other day.
I'm like,
I
who
think
is that?
they're just like, oh, they have a waistband on. Oh my God, these are pregnancy pants. That's why they're so comfortable.
Like, I always watch Friends, and when he goes the Thanksgiving pants and he's wearing pregnancy pants.
Yes, definitely.
That's me. I'm like, if it has like the elastic at the top and I can put it over we call it in Arabic a kedsh. I can put it over my stomach. It'll make me so much happier. I swear, it's so funny how people are like, that's maternity wear. And I'm like, I don't care. Wallahi, I used to before we had women brands, I used to go to Walmart and go to the maternity section to find a long top that went to my knees. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I went to the weirdest places.
It was so hard to find clothing back then. Like, when I started wearing hijab was in like 2006, I think, and you couldn't find anything. Like, it was. I remember taking jeans and opening the jeans up in half and adding fabric, like adding panels just to make a skirt. That's how hard it was to find stuff back then.
Yeah, I remember when they started first having the long jean skirts in as a style. And I think I had 30 different long jean skirts with buttons going down the middle, like, because that was a thing. And I still was wearing tights underneath. And I was just like, with the ever-changing fashion world, I think it was between 2014 and 15 when modest fashion started to become a thing. And I think that's where the game changed forever for all the women. We weren't wearing, dish dashes and abayas and kaftans. Were not the only things that we could wear. There were actually clothes we could wear without having to wear 20 different undershirts and I remember I used to have the Under Armour shirts.
Yes.
And I'd wear them under like all my spaghetti strap.
I know.
Little, dresses, there would be like summer dresses for like people who didn't wear hijab, and there were tops for me.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. There's so many layers, like so much layering involved, which is like kind of why I started out with clothing. It's like, I don't want so many layers. I want like one layer, 2 layers max, and that's it, So, yeah.
I think with with the products that you have, they're very free flowing. I'm also a person, like, I always say this in all my lives. I'm a size 12. I don't care. I'm gonna not hide it, and I'm short.
You're so cute.
So the fact that you have that layering, Adaya said, yes, the layering. It was horrible.
It was horrible.
But I'm so short, and it's hard to wear certain outfits. So like when you're petite and you're thick, and you have something free flowing, it makes you feel comfortable. At least for me, I don't like to have some of my clothes stick to my skin, but I want to show my shape. So when you said that, I'm like, I totally agree 100% about that.
And it's flattering without being immodest. Like, it still can be modest and it still look good on you, And I feel like there's been like a discrepancy there. Like, oh, if it looks good, then it's automatically not modest, And we have been able to come up with quite a few designs that we feel, of course, modesty is very subjective, right. But we feel like they work really well.
And Adaya's on here. She's gonna laugh at this. She said, "I only want to layer up if I choose to, not because I have to." I think that is so true. Also, she says, yeah. Also, she always tells me, just because you're covered doesn't mean you don't have to be cute. So.
Yes, I have 27-inch long arms too.
Those half sleeves, oh my gosh. Those half sleeves, I never want to see them again in my life. I don't know how many 3/4 sleeve shirts I had, especially like, you remember the Bohemian, like linen cotton fabric?
Yes.
That were half sleeves, supposed to go over a bathing suit. Yeah, those were my hijab tops too.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's saying yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's worn a bikini over top as a regular hijabi top. I know you're all out there.
100%. Oh yeah. No, I still have some. Like I still have like cover-ups that I would use as hijabi, you know.
Well, especially being in San Diego, it's hot. I
It's
mean,
hot.
it gets really, really hot. And, it's a different weather than the Northern California.
Yeah, it's actually been like a hot summer. And honestly, like these fairy dusters, like that we've kind of just launched, have been like a godsend. You know, it's like it's
Right.
all I wear. Like I just have to wear like a shirt underneath, and it's like covered, it's long, it's like, flowy. Because like this heat, like otherwise, like I just like stay at home all day. Like I just don't want to even be out.
No, I agree 100%. Also, the ladies are saying, I used to cry because I couldn't get my size because I was so tall. It's so true. You're either too short or too tall. There's no medium. And I love where I can reach out to the person who's made the product and go, here's my custom size. Is there something you could do to help me out and I could wear that? A lot of companies that make their own things and manufacture their own outfits actually can help resize your outfit for you before it's sent out to you.
Yeah. So what we're actually doing now is we just launched a plus size line, and yeah, like girl, you have no idea like how underserved that market is. Like when people started reaching out,
under
yeah, like everybody wants to look good, and it's like you can wear flattering clothes no matter what size you are, and so we just launched the plus size. We have our regular, and within the next few weeks we're also launching a petite. So we're going to have the petite, the regular, and the plus, and just kind of cater to all of those markets. And we want to do these like in our model cardigans. It's like a beautiful, thicker than the jersey fabric. It does not like cling to your body. We want to do like pants and then like lounge sets, and we may be doing custom length for the pants. So that's something to like stay tuned for.
That's exciting because, like I said, I know for me, I'm short, I'm thick, I carry it well, but some clothing, because of the way it's made, like especially the fabric that goes flat, like my chest just goes pancake flat, and I have a big chest, but I can't control it because of the fabric. So sometimes it looks awkward. I end up buying a shirt and throwing it away. Like I can't, or giving it to my sister, Like, I don't know how many shirts. I'm like, just take it. It doesn't fit right on the front. I online shopping, there's pluses and minuses with that, you don't know. And that's why I like shopping from brands I can actually speak to the person making it. Maida Brand says, hello, welcome. I know our live is going to be ending in 3 minutes. I'm having way too much fun with you, Rima.
I have to catch up separately.
Exactly. This is why I like doing the lives. Not only do I get to, sit here, get to know the brand, get to know the person. It really is, family of support. And, having a woman in, this type of business, I learned about rebranding today. I learned about, how it is to be in a business with a single mom. And I think these are things that other women who see it, want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And so I think it's very important. And yes, thank you for all the hearts, ladies. With the 1 minute remaining, please tell us what's going on today and what people can look out for the live that's coming soon. Again, I know we've mentioned it a few times, and those who are going to watch afterwards, please tune in because this is very important information.
So we launching our line very shortly. We have a few items in our sale this week. We have these like short, limited edition short fairy dusters coming out. We have a very limited quantity. Last week we launched it in a specific print and we sold out of that. So we have a new print this week. Very limited quantities, like I said. And we're just have any suggestions for us, please reach out if you have any questions. I always tell people to, if you have any questions, to ask me before you make a purchase. Like I am there, like our customer service is like at the top of the priority list for us. So you being happy makes us happy. Like we're not trying to make a sale.
Right.
We really want you to have purchase and what you get. We're not just trying to make a quick sale and, you know, and then never see you again. So yeah, so reach out to me if you guys have any other questions. Like, I'd be more than happy to answer. And yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us live today. Guys, check out A Parallel